in every county around us. We're the odd. We're the only ones not making any money.
I don't see.
Me too.
No, you couldn't make money off it. That's true. But if there was somebody that had property next to me and I wanted to build a house, I would suppose I've been around, I know what goes on. I know how to do it. It's a hard story. That's another wives' tale. They could blast on your property and you might feel a little vibration in your feet. That's it. So off the property, you probably wouldn't know it. Been there too many times when they get it to listen to these stories about the noise of the explosion, rocks, boulders raining down in the backyard. That's just old wives' but that would be true.
So I said, let's go. I'll be out of here. This routine. Bed's already made, everything's already things like plantation showers. Open all that. Like fires, but I'm not and my little yeah. I did it. I did it. My daughter and so I got
It is. bad. This morning, I was outside early.
I've been relegated to the front row.
Oh, man. If it's anything important, deal it out, so. If you're saying, I know you're talking.
Try to get him to as many people as you can up and down the road here.
We were coming home, there was like little spikes out there. Yeah. Two little small. Yeah.
It's 5:30, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Before we begin the meeting, I want to read a procedure out and request a motion to adopt this. But the procedure will
Look,
be.
Brandon gonna go over this. We just adopted.
Brandon, you want to? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to, do I need to amend the agenda to add this procedure?
I just need a motion to approve the procedures for the August 25th, 2026
Mr.
public
Chairman,
hearing.
I submit a motion to approve the procedures for the August 25th, 2026 public hearing.
Second.
Okay.
Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, may I go ahead and
Yes,
read
sir.
them,
Yes,
and then
sir.
you all can vote?
You haven't voted yet.
These procedures shall govern the conducting of tonight's public hearing on a moratorium on the acceptance of applications and issuance of land disturbance permits, variances, licenses, letters of zoning or land use compliance, or other permits of any kind related to uses or activities associated with mining sites for the removal of minerals and natural materials from the earth. The hearing will be held in the Baldwin County Government Building or in such other location as was advertised. Printed copies of these procedures shall be available for public review at the hearing, and they are located at the rear of the room. The proponents of the resolution shall have a minimum of 30 minutes for the presentation of data, evidence, and opinions. The length of time for presentations permitted to each speaker will be governed by the chairman of the Board of Commissioners, depending upon the number of persons present and desiring to speak, and provided that both proponents and opponents shall have equal opportunity to address the Board of Commissioners. The opponents of the resolution shall have a minimum of 30 minutes for the presentation of data, evidence, and opinions. The length of time for presentations permitted to each speaker will be governed by the chairman of the Board of Commissioners or his or her designee, depending upon the number of persons present and desiring to speak, and provided that both proponents and opponents shall have equal opportunity to address the Board of Commissioners. Any person desiring to speak for or against the measure shall sign a roster for that purpose. All questions will be addressed to the chairman then presiding. Personal attacks, interruptions of the recognized speaker, inappropriate language, and remarks which extend beyond the reasonable time designated by the chairman will not be allowed. Standing to challenge any decision made at the conclusion of the hearing shall not be conferred by being permitted to speak orally at the hearing, nor by being permitted to file a statement or pleadings.
With that being said, the call to order, the public hearing. This is a public hearing for the mining moratorium. The purpose of this public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, we do need the vote on the motion to adopt those procedures.
We have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Vote the motion passed unanimous. Now we have a mining moratorium. The purpose of the public hearing is for the Baldwin County Board of Commissioners to gather public input and implement a moratorium on the acceptance of applications in the issue of land and disturbance permit, vacancies, letters of zoning or land use compliance or other permits of any kind related to use of the activities associated with the mining site for the removal of the minerals and natural material from the earth. I'm gonna allow the people to speak first that is for this. And you have approximately 30 minutes to speak. We have 5 people on the list. So the first person on the list to speak is Jeff Haymore.
Not 30 minutes each.
Huh?
30 minutes
So,
collectively.
Mr.
30
Chairman,
it'll be-
you said there's 5 people who signed up to speak against the moratorium, correct?
Right.
Okay, so 30 minutes divided equally amongst those
Yes.
5 people
30
is
minutes.
6 minutes.
6 minutes. So each individual on this list will have 6 minutes to speak. And each side will give 30 minutes per each side to speak, based on how many people in the list that are determined how many minutes that each speaker will have to speak. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the commission. My name is,
Before you begin, will you state your name and your address?
yes, my name is Jeff Haymore. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Dillard Sellers. Our firm address is 1776 Peachtree Street in Atlanta. We do have those that have signed up to speak, but I think I'll just be speaking for them, so it should not take as long as those 30 minutes. Do appreciate your hearing us tonight, and thank you for your public service. I represent APAC Atlantic, doing business as Mid-South. They are the lessee of the Pancras Road quarry property. You notice this public hearing in the Union Recorder to gather public input into implementing a moratorium related to mining. While you're going to hear opposition to my client's project, this hearing is, in our estimation, not about my client's project, which has a vested right in its use and permits for the reasons specified in my letter, which your counsel has shared with you. Any attempt to apply the current or any proposed moratorium like the one before you tonight would be discriminatory intent and fruitless. My client has been transparent.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Is this about whether we can apply a moratorium, or is this about whether we just keep a moratorium in effect? Because I think we're all here to vote on just keeping our moratorium, not whether it's applied to someone or not.
Well, he's okay. He's preserving his
And I don't-
client's legal position.
I don't think we're here to vote on anything. We're here to hear the public input to discuss this moratorium to vote on September the 1st. So,
Yeah.
the point of order, I would refuse that point of order and allow the speaker to continue speaking.
Well,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I appreciate that. As I said, my client has been transparent with the county from the beginning. My client has expended hundreds of thousands of dollars in mineral exploration, geology, engineering, permitting, and other professional fees and services in reliance upon the law and county assurances. Any effort to postpone or deny my client's land disturbance permit, quarry use, and development of the property through any retroactive moratorium is an outdated playbook. Like the single wing formation in football, it's been consistently rejected by the courts. I'm not going to go through those cases. And to your point, I would like to speak in broader terms, not so much about the moratorium, which is really legal issues, but about the rights of all landowners in Baldwin County. Every landowner in Baldwin County currently enjoys the ownership of their land without any zoning restriction. Baldwin County does not, nor could, have a law that requires a landowner to obtain the consent of his neighbor, whether a foot away or a mile away, to use his land. Every property owner in Baldwin County has a right to use his property for any lawful purpose. Extracting minerals is a lawful purpose, there being, again, no zoning ordinance in Baldwin County to restrict the location of such use or any other use for that matter. In Cross v. Hall County, which is a quarry case, a seminal Georgia Supreme Court case, it held in the absence of a zoning ordinance, a property owner has a right to use his property as he sees fit. The subject property possesses valuable granite minerals worth millions of dollars. In Hayes v. Howell, another seminal Georgia Supreme Court case, it held that in the absence of a zoning ordinance, again, the property owner has a right to use his property as he sees fit. And in that case, also acknowledged that mineral rights are valuable property interests recognized and protected in Georgia. Now, in recognition of this, the Georgia Environmental Protection Division reviews and permits all granite quarries in Georgia to ensure, on the one hand, those valuable mineral interests are used to benefit the landowner and the public, and on the other hand, to ensure that the public health, safety, and welfare is observed so as to not injure other owners' rights. So it's a balance. And that has been delegated by the General Assembly to the Georgia Environmental Protection Division. None of those opposed to a rock quarry here today are asking that the board adopt a temporary moratorium or impose permanent zoning restrictions on their current land use, only on someone else's land use. This is often known as the first rule of land use restrictions, this idea that restrictions are for other people's property, and that's simply not the case. This is a nation governed by the rule of law, not by the rule of man. This is enshrined in our Georgia Constitution's Bill of Rights. First, no person shall be deprived of property except by due process of law. Second, protection to person and property is the paramount duty of government and shall be impartial and complete. No person shall be denied the equal protection of the laws. May I finish, and we'll, I think, be done with our presentation.
So you're gonna be the only one to speak off of this list?
Yes, for these gentlemen who have signed up, if I
Are
could,
they allowed to yield their time to someone else?
Well, they have 10 minutes that they're allowed to speak, over 10 minutes. 30 minutes to speak.
30 minutes per
30,
side.
30 minutes per side.
And were you saying that the gentleman who signed up to speak did not desire to speak?
they will not speak, I will speak for them.
All right, then we'll give 30 minutes per side, up to 30
Okay.
minutes per
Well,
side.
you allow-
I'll be done in just a minute.
Go ahead, sir.
I appreciate the equal time opportunity. You will hear more time from those that are in support of the moratorium than those who are opposed. But let me just finish with other rights guaranteed by our Georgia Constitution. No retroactive law or laws impairing the obligation of contract shall be passed. With due respect, and I do understand the position that you're in as the governing body, the adopted moratorium and the proposed moratorium, which I've just now reviewed and do believe it is better than what was adopted, but nonetheless violate these constitutional guarantees of due process, equal protection, and retroactive laws. So let me be clear. So long as the county recognizes our vested rights and our constitutional guarantees and processes and approves the permits without regard to this moratorium or any future moratorium, then we are made whole under the law. With that, I will be available to answer any questions, although you may not have any. But that will conclude our presentation. Thank you so much.
Does anyone around the board have any questions for Mr. Haymore?
Thank you.
Now we will go to the other side of the list, which is the people that are in favor of the moratorium. The first one on the list is Mr. Aubrey Nelson. Mr. Aubrey Nelson.
Good afternoon. I'm Aubrey Nelson. I know that this group is tasked with making decisions concerning things that affect Baldwin County. That being said, I hope you realize that the approval of the Avery Store Road quarry will only benefit the investors behind it, and the effects on residents and the county will be largely negative. This is not a mom and pop operation or a manufacturing facility which would create jobs. It's a mega industrial venture that will have far-reaching negative effects for years to come. As a resident whose property is adjacent to the proposed site, I'm concerned about a number of things, being noise 24/7, the fact that enormous amounts of water from underground sources may affect wells in the area, runoff from washing of gravel, which will be channeled directly into Lake Sinclair, and the amount of traffic that rock trucks will present hazards on Highway 212 and beyond. All in all, I fail to see any benefit to the county, financial or otherwise. And I implore you as a group of concerned citizens to weigh all the details and deny the proposal of the quarry in the interest of what's best for the county and its residents. I feel that we're being run over by big money. Thanks.
Thank you. The next on the list of speakers is Ms. Judy Veal.
Thank you, Commissioners. Judy Veal, 190 Montego Bay. I can only want to take you to a working quarry because I'm sure most of us have not been to one. And the person that's going to take us is Dutch Henderson. Dutch Henderson, and I quote, I work in and around rock quarries every month. They are not pleasant at all. I was at a quarry in Dallas, Georgia, when they were blasting a new segment. Stones the size of footballs came down in the parking area by the maintenance house. How someone wasn't killed or a truck smashed is beyond me. Fortunately, these flying stones' trajectories were slowed by some pine trees. These trees were well over 10 inches thick and were snapped in half like toothpicks by the flying stones. Last Wednesday, I was at another construction business over at the Atlanta airport. Unbeknownst to me, there was also another quarry there. In the midst of our meeting, the quarry began blasting a section. I kid you not, it sounded and felt like 20 train cars slamming into each other, then falling from a 10-story building. One of the men in the room that worked there said the blasting was even worse some days and would go on all day. It had become so bad that they were going to relocate. I strongly suggest that these local officials that are voting for this quarry, meaning you commissioners, need to spend a few days in a quarry. It is loud beyond belief. Yea, there is great money to be made. Thank you.
The next on the list to speak is Mr. Gary Blackwell. Mr. Gary Blackwell.
He might be in the other room. Is he in the other
Can you
room?
check and see if he's in the next room? Yes, no problem. We will check and see.
Good evening, thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Could you state your name and your address, Mr. Blackwell?
Gary Blackwell, 360 McCullough Weaver Road.
Yes, sir.
I'm here tonight to express my concerns about the proposed rock quarry on Pancrest Road. Aside from the obvious concerns of a rock quarry being air pollution, water tables, water contamination, traffic problems, and vibration of foundations, I want to emphasize the specific danger of its location next to a multiple high-pressure natural gas line. I'm deviating from my speech a little bit, but Sammy, you've got the gas line on your property. How much stress would your land be under if there was a rock quarry next to it? There are currently 3 existing interstate pipelines crossing the proposed quarry site, with a 4th pipeline being installed to these. The concern is the combination of these additional activities around the pipelines, operating heavy equipment, daily blasting close to a high-pressure gas pipeline, and continuous vibrations that will cause damage to the pipelines and its protective coating, which could create a catastrophic event. We're talking about blasting and quarry operation being placed directly adjacent to it, and I believe that this deserves very careful review before this proposal moves forward. I would also ask the commissioners to review the access permits for this property. To get to the quarry, you've got to cross the gas line. If you have an emergency situation on the gas line that affects the gas line and the people in the quarry, those people are trapped. The appropriate encroachment and federal approvals must be obtained for the access, which includes FERC approval. That's a federal gas line. It's not state, it's not local. It's governed by the federal government. So I want to stress that we should make sure that the regulations are met before we give this company approval to go in there.
The Next on the list to speak is Mr. Marion Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Marion Nelson, 918 Nelson Road Northwest. I'm in favor of the moratorium. I'm very much against the quarry project on Avery Store Road. I realize that my plea may not ring true because none of you are directly affected by this proposal. One major concern that I do have is learning that last year the Board of Commissioners voted to amend the land use code, apparently at the urging of the then county manager, to relax the setback distance from residential structures to a mining operation. It would appear that somehow, between an earlier work session in which the code contained a setback distance of 5,000 feet from a residential structure, the Board of Commissioners voted to relax that distance when it voted in early '25 without discussion to amend the code to 1,500 feet. It's our understanding that this change in the setback distance did not originate with the Land Use Committee. What possibly encouraged the county manager to make this change to the Land Use Code? Was he possibly knowledgeable of mining interests on Avery Store Road and knowing that this change in the setback limit was essential for the project to proceed? Was proper notice given to the public regarding this change, and was there an opportunity for public comment? These are questions that we would like to have answered. If you greenlight this project, you will have destroyed the desirability of my property, destroyed my way of life. You will have taken from me that which I have worked my entire life. You will have taken from me that which brings joy, pride, and pleasure to me and my family. We have obtained, as of today, over 1,000 signatures opposed to the quarry project on Avery Store Road, and we would be happy to deliver those signatures to you. Thank you very much.
The next on the list to speak is Taurus Rozier.
Taurus Rozier, 483 Pancrest Road. The rock quarry industry will not enhance Baldwin County or its citizens. We're talking about an industry with a lifespan of 50 to 70 years. We're talking about an industry that destroys the natural beauty and wildlife of our county. Make no mistake, it will affect the whole county. Changing the land for the purpose of a rock quarry sets dangerous precedent for future heavy factories and industries in our county that do not enhance it but destroy it. The heavy industrial traffic will destroy roads and bridges that were not built for massive haul trucks, like Pancrest Road and other roads like it in the county. The natural gas pipeline, which runs through Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia, runs through properties of Baldwin County citizens near the proposed quarry site. Constant blasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week will cause vibrations damaging homes and underground pipes that will be repaired and paid for by whom? Respiratory illnesses caused by the silica dust to people, animals, and livestock in the county that will be treated and paid for by whom? We know what pine pollen is like in Georgia. Imagine silica dust covering your homes, cars, and lands nonstop for 50 to 70 years. Lowering the water table, drying up and polluting well water, creeks, and ponds, all of which are near the proposed quarry. Possibly effects to Lake Sinclair, which is a huge economic factor to Baldwin County. No economic benefit will be realized by Baldwin County or its citizens who will bear negative impact of the quarry. Lower property values mean lower tax revenue, increased medical and property insurance coverage to the Baldwin County citizens. Money from the quarry will not stay in the county. It will go to the owner of the quarry and businesses in the states, other states and counties. There is no balance, as the previous was spoken of. Hearing the environmental, economic, and health concerns, vote no.
The next to speak is Ms. Claudia Posey.
Hello, my name is Claudia Posey. I live at 228 Cooper's Road. I am 1.6 miles away from the proposed Pancrest site. I'm a mom of two, and a lot of you don't know me, but a lot of you know my family. My grandmother was Cheryl Farmer. My great-grandmother is Dorothy Etheridge, who will be 99 next month. She does not need the extra stress. I do not need the extra stress. But most of us take our kids, our little kids, to Midway Hills Elementary, which is off of 441. So not only do we have to deal with 441 traffic now and school traffic, you're proposing that we deal with big trucks and train traffic. The trains already are crazy. On top of that, any infrastructure on our roads will be destroyed. So any profit will go directly into road restructuring. This is not a good place for it. Water pollution is just one of the many things. Studies have shown that quarries reduce well yields by 50%. Not only will water drying up and the constant explosion will run off our wildlife and kill the fish, destroying our natural ecosystems. I don't need to tell y'all that most of Baldwin County likes to fish and hunt, and you're going to lose all that with these. Silica dust has been known to cause lung cancer, COPD, chronic kidney disease, and tuberculosis, just to name a few. This is horrible. Noise pollution in a small community will cause excess stress on our aging population. In conclusion, this is an absurd idea. I agree we need more industry in Baldwin County, but not in the middle of our communities and not at the expense of our health, safety, and peace. We love Baldwin County, and we want to keep it that way.
The next to speak will be Mr. Jim Ballard.
Evening, Commissioners, Chairman. My name is Jim Ballard, 117 Honeysuckle Road, Northwest, Milledgeville. As you can see from the attendance tonight, the proposition of this quarry before you is probably one of the highest profile proposals you'll ever have to decide on. As you can also see from the number of people here, we recognize that this proposal has the potential to destroy a community, and we need your help more than ever before. When you were all campaigning at the last election, this is why we voted for you. To protect our community, our families, our children, and their future, and the way of life that we all enjoy. We personally voted for you to support this community from exactly what we're dealing with now. And to put it simply, we voted for you to help us fight when the wolf was at the door. As you prepare to look at all the facts to make a decision on this project, we ask that you not rush into judgment and be sure you actually have all the facts so you can make an informed decision. In order to have that information, it would be irresponsible to proceed without an environmental impact statement that would professionally outline the consequences if we move forward with this quarry. Statistics show that municipal and county councils often do look at environmental reviews, but unfortunately, they only look at the ones provided to them, and more times than not, that's only submitted by those attempting to initiate the project. These statements are often slanted, filled with embellishments, and even more importantly, submitted with massive omissions. Please don't be one of those statistics. We ask before any decisions are made that you move to obtain an impact statement from an independent entity, a firm that is unbiased and neutral in this proposal. In closing, we all know Baldwin County is in a fiscal crisis at this time, but this is temporary. We ask that you please don't make a decision that will have a long-term negative impact to our community simply to solve a temporary problem. We will get through this financial shortfall, but don't let your legacy in office be one that is associated with and forever remembered as one of the commissioners that approved this project that destroyed a community. Thank you.
The next to speak is Henry Bold.
Maybe in the next room.
Can someone check and make sure that Mr. Henry Bold is in the other room? Henry Bold.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Henry Boyle, 117 Berry Road, Southwest Milledgeville. The talking points that I were going to use this evening pretty much covered for everyone before me. But I would like to ask each and every one of you to consider your vote that's coming up as to what your legacy is going to be and as to what you're going to be known by. So please give it some good consideration and take some time on it. That's all I have to say now. Thank you.
Thank you. The next to speak is Ms. Claudia Hedrich.
Good evening, Baldwin County. Claudia Hedrick, 593 Pancras Road. As of today, we have over 400 signatures on the petition to stop the quarry on Pancras Road, just to give y'all an update. Good evening, Commissioners. I'm asking you to consider what we are really being asked if we allow a quarry on Pancras Road. This is not simply a quarry. It is an industrial operation being placed next to homes, private wells, rural roads, and critical infrastructure, including an interstate natural gas transmission pipeline. And once this decision is made, we can't undo it. The consequences cannot simply be reversed. Who will pay when hundreds of heavy trucks begin traveling roads that were never designed for continuous industrial traffic? Us? We need to answer that question. Who will pay when those roads deteriorate, when drainage systems fail, when taxpayers are asked to repair infrastructure damaged by a private company? The answer should not be the residents of Baldwin County. Then there's the health issue. Granite mining means drilling, blasting, crushing, hauling, and dust. Granite cannot contain crystalline silica, and respirable silica is associated with serious respiratory diseases and lung cancer. Are the people that live there going to have to suffer and die a horrible death from COPD or lung cancer simply because we don't have laws in place to protect us from this type of business moving next door? Then consider the water. Many residents depend on private wells. Excavation can change groundwater conditions, drainage, and runoff. We need baseline testing and continuous monitoring before anyone is allowed to put those water supplies at risk. Not to mention the blasting. How are we going to protect homeowners when they are at risk of losing their homes due to foundational cracks because the constant vibrations are going to affect their homes? What are we going to do to protect them? They're property owners too. They matter just as much as the owners of the company. So what are we going to do to protect the people who have called Baldwin County home, who represent and vote for you guys to be here?
Next on the list to speak is Brent Harville. Harold. Okay. I thought it was a V.
We'll have to get through 3 minutes of stuff in 2 minutes, so bear with me. Speed it up. Good evening. My name is Brent Harrell. Commissioners, I'm here tonight to respectfully ask for you to continue this moratorium and give Baldwin County the time necessary to get this right. Just 1 month ago, I was blindsided by an attempt to permit a rock quarry on Avery Store Road, directly adjoining my property at 983 Nelson Road. A month ago, I knew very little about this proposal or how we got here. I know considerably more today, and what I've learned has proven just how necessary this moratorium is. Questions have emerged about how the rules were changed, who was involved, the ownership interest behind this project, and how we arrived at this point. Those questions deserve answers before the process resumes. Moratorium has given us time to obtain records, ask questions, and understand what happened, and we're not finished. I also want you to understand why this is personal to me. My family calls our property Fish Hawk Farms. My boys came up with this name after watching an osprey, a fish hawk, and a bald eagle compete over breakfast on our pond. Some of my most important times of my life are sitting in a john boat on a pond with my 2 boys as the sun comes up. It's quiet, you hear birds, the frogs, 2 boys talking to their dad. That's what I'm fighting to protect. So when proponents say this quarry will have minimum impact on adjoining landowners, I ask, minimum to who? Replace the quiet with backup buzzers, rock crushers, and dump trucks 5 or 6 days a week, not to forget the light pollution from security lights every single night. Not for a year, not for generations, not for 10 years, potentially for generations, and this just isn't about my family. My family has roots in Baldwin County going back generations. I've only owned this property for 6 years, but many people in this room have lived on their land much longer. For some, it's been passed down through generations. That cannot simply be replaced, and I'm standing here for them too. Real quick, I want to show, and I'm running out of time, but Bud City Motors, y'all remember that in 20. I bought the property. That was somewhat of a nuisance. Looks like a fun place, somewhat a nuisance to the neighbors. That's what it was. This is what my family and I have worked so hard to make it. This is my son Walker standing right where those trucks were.
Thank you, Mr.
So,
Hall.
I'll be seeing a lot of y'all, but thank you for your time.
The next speaker on the list is Fidelis for the fact.
Yes, my brother. Yes, get him. Get him.
All right, good evening, Commissioners. My name is Fidelis Polifak. I live at 116 Cranford Drive. So I don't live on the side of the county where this rock quarries are being proposed, but we do have a community out there, community garden out there that we started 2 years ago on Nelson Road. And so I won't reiterate all the environmental impacts that folks have stated, but the only reason that community garden was possible is because of a family that has owned the property through generations and was generous enough to allow us to do a community garden on their property. So, part of my concern is understanding that Baldwin County is a community that deals with a lot of food insecurity. Why would we risk land that is great for agriculture and that has the potential for feeding families to be ruined in this way? But also the pictures that I passed out to you all are from a gentleman in Hancock County who lives in the vicinity of a rock quarry. And that is what happened after a blast essentially tore apart his roof that almost fell in on him after a rock blast from that rock quarry. And so 2 years ago when I moved back, I also got involved with that community, helping them to not only fight a rock quarry, but also asphalt plan and a proposed railroad and all those things. And rock quarry coming to this community is gonna, as others have mentioned, opened up basically Pandora's box for all other kinds of industry to come in and destroy the community that is there. And so hopefully you all take into serious consideration everyone's concerns, but also I hope that that picture gives you a real life example of the effect that a rock quarry can have on people that live in the vicinity of it. Thank you.
The next speaker on the list is Sandy Diamond.
Thank you for having me. Sandy Diamond, 199 Cooper's Church Road. The Pancras Road facility would be in a neighborhood, first of all. And what I did was went to the Mid-South Aggregates website, and in little bitty print, little tiny print, they've got hazard identification. And carcinogenity is category 1A. I had to look that up. Known human evidence that has been shown to have human evidence of carcinogens. Also, specific organ toxicity is category 2, which is likely to have impacts on your liver, kidney, or nervous system. 180, category 1A agents include asbestos, benzene, arsenic, and tobacco smoke. All of us have lost somebody to cancer, every one of us. Also, there's particulate matter from a granite mine, which can drift from 100 yards to over 30 miles. The coarser dust, which is parts per minute of 10, settle within 100 yards to 1/2 mile or over 2,640 feet. I know that many of my neighbors live within 2,640 feet of this proposed mine. Inhalable dust, which is PM10 particles, they stay airborne for minutes to hours, traveling from 1/2 mile to 30 miles in a gentle breeze. Fine dust, which is still not too good, stay suspended indefinitely and travel 30 to 40 miles under standard weather conditions. Blasting creates large, high-altitude, clouds. So for health issues, this is not a good thing for a neighborhood. I know that there was a third Sibley property proposal that nothing's been said about, and I haven't looked at that, I haven't driven by, but I would encourage all of you, who, if you have not driven down Pancras Road, to go down there and look at the people that are going to be affected by this. And health is a big thing for most of us. Have a good night. Thank you.
The next on the list to speak is Lee Godfrey.
She said it for me.
Okay, you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I was just signing with her.
Okay, yes, sir. No problem.
And I agree with everything she said.
Note taking. The next on the list to speak is Roy Nelson.
Roy Nelson, 923 Nelson Road Northwest, locally. I attend Northridge Church locally, and we're in the middle of a sermon series, Built to Belong. Find your people, follow Jesus together. It is my hope that everybody on both sides of this discussion and argument will follow Jesus together. One of the sermon notes the other day was, belonging grows when we share the road. In front of you are the families, men, women, children represented that share this road. We call Baldwin County home. We call this the place where we belong. We love this community. It is home to us. When I looked at the back, there are 15 names. I see Nelson Road, Montego Bay, McCullough Weaver, Pancras, Gordon Highway, Berry, Cooper's Church, 212, all local roads, people that call this home, that belong here. As I understand it, each of you took this position to represent the interests and hear the voices of the people that call this home and share this road. I mean no disrespect. The 5 names that were listed in opposition have addresses of Atlanta, Belton, South Carolina, Augusta, Cumming, and Ackworth. Does anyone on the stage represent any of those? Enough said. I had nothing prepared. When I came in, I was asked to speak. The advice that was given to me was ask the Holy Spirit to shine light in the dark places. I mean no disrespect to the mining industry. I wish them well. We want the best for this community. I have no issue with mining. I do have an issue when it's 1,800 feet from my bedroom window. Thank you all for what you do.
The next to speak is Janet Page Smith.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Janet Smith, and I'm here tonight as a resident of Hancock County, and I know what firsthand it means to live near a quarry, a mile from a quarry. And I also ask for you to pray, and this gentleman back here is praying man for us tomorrow. Our planning and zoning voted unanimously not to expand the 160-acre quarry. Heidelberg owns not to expand it, but we still continue to live with 160 acres. So it'll go before our commissioners tomorrow. Very quickly, people asked, why did you build a home near a quarry? Well, we didn't. We were there first. It began as a little exposed area of granite rock, local landowner, and then it sold and it eventually developed into, over 30 years, Heidelberg Quarry. I want to say when a quarry seeks approval, the company may talk about economic development. That's what they do in Hancock County. They say we're poor, tax revenue, jobs, and materials needed to build roads. But after the permit is approved, the company begins operating. Nearby families were left. I'm here every day with that quarry. We're a community. We live, we attend church, we visit families, daycare centers. We have to share the road with trucks hauling rocks, asphalt, fuel, and other materials. When throughout the day, the danger and the disruption, it's daily life. I live it every single day, even on the weekends. I want to say, before considering this quarry, ask yourself, who's going to regulate, inspect the quarry? Who's going to do the documents? Who's going to respond when residents complain? And I want to say this, learn from what happened to our community. Don't wait for these folks to come and stand before you with health issues, cracked walls, dust-covered homes, unsafe roads, and unanswered prayers and regrets. Thank you for listening to me.
The final person to speak will be Ms. Jessica Valentine Daniels.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to make sure, I think the county manager has been taking the role. I think that's 15 speakers at 2 minutes already.
One of them didn't speak.
Not everybody got all their time.
Can y'all?
So it should be
Look,
1
if-
minute and 23
It's up,
seconds.
it's up to
and
the
another
chairman. If you
30.
want to expand the time and
Sorry.
allow more people to speak, you've just got to give equal time to both sides.
One guy didn't speak, and some of the time they didn't complete their whole 2 minutes, so I think we could still be within that 30 minutes. And allow the last person, they would be the last one to speak.
The county manager clarified that, so
Okay.
we're at
Thank
30
you,
minutes.
commissioners.
And I wouldn't let her spoke if everyone would have spoke, because it would have went over the 2 minutes, but one didn't speak, and some of them didn't go over the time. So
Thank
go
you.
ahead. Go ahead, Ms.
I have soil reports from 2012. That soil has not changed. I also have some data from my well over the last few years that I'll provide at the end of this. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Jessica Valentine Daniels. I'm a business owner in the Federal Historic District. I live at 559 Georgia Highway 212 Northwest, near the proposed quarry on Avery Store Road, and also own a 200-acre property located in Orangeburg, South Carolina, which would be relevant. My mother has property that is multi-generational of the Little family. I want to make one thing clear. I'm not opposed to mining. Minerals are essential to our economy, our everyday lives, and our national defense. What I oppose is approving mining near residential communities without first proving it complies with our laws and that the risk to our water, homes, roads, and environment have been properly evaluated. Which setback provisions legally apply to these proposed sites today? And where is that determination documented? If homes are less than 1,500 feet from a proposed pit boundary, shouldn't that question be resolved before this project moves forward or this memorandum is extended? I'm not asking you to accept my interpretation. I'm asking you to verify it. There are environmental questions. These operations involve excavation, crushing, blasting, dust, stormwater runoff, sediment, noise, and vibration. We have private wells, groundwater, rural roads, and Lake Sinclair. Where are the pre-mining baseline studies? Where are the groundwater and private well data, as well as the air quality and silica baseline? Where is the hydraulic analysis showing the groundwater and stormwater move? Where is the blasting and vibration analysis for nearby homes? And if a private well is damaged or loses its water supply, who will be held responsible? Who pays for the investigation, replacement of water, and repair? Surely not me. I already pay for it to be removed from lead, manganese, and iron from my well.
Mr. Chairman, I would love just to clarify, different Little family, we are not related.
Yes, we're not. We're not affiliated.
Well noted. Let's conclude, everybody, with the public hearing. Anyone else around the board have anything they want to add or speak on?
Mr. Chairman, we have a resolution here. I know we had discussed voting on this resolution on September the 1st. In my opinion, there's no reason, no legal reason or any other reason we can't vote on this resolution tonight. So I would make a motion we vote on the resolution to enact moratorium for the rock quarry.
Second. I'd just ask you all to, out of an abundance of caution, make a motion to amend the agenda to add resolution number 2026-67 and read the caption and make that motion.
I move we amend the agenda to consider their resolution.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? My discussion would be like, we got a lot of information from both sides, and right now I got to talk with my constituents and talk with people. So I wouldn't be in favor of voting for this tonight. I don't think one more week gonna make a big difference till we have an opportunity to discuss and fact check some of the things that have been said in this room against everybody in this room. So I would vote no tonight for this.
Mr. Chairman, we already voted on it. We voted on it last week, and now we're just extending it because our attorney says we need to clarify because it was an emergency moratorium when we voted last, and so now we're clarifying that to make it permanent. So I see no reason, you know, you got 180 days to get all the facts you want to gather. So that's what the moratorium is. It gives us 180 days to study the issue, to talk to people, to find out whatever information you have.
At the time when I voted on it, I didn't have a public hearing to have the input of the people. So again, I will be voting no for this tonight until Tuesday.
I still offer my motion.
Well, that's my discussion. We're in the discussion phase. That is my point during the discussion. If anyone don't have anything else to say, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
No. Motion passes. Okay. So now we have to make a
That was
motion
to amend the agenda, yes, sir.
Right. So that was a motion to amend the agenda. Now we have to have a motion to vote on the resolution.
Well, I resubmit my motion to consider the resolution number 2026-67, extending and enacting a moratorium on the acceptance of applications and the issuance of land disturbance permits, et cetera, for rock quarry.
Second.
Can I ask you to clarify your motion? You said consider. Did you mean to approve or disapprove?
Oh, well, yes. If I gotta say that, that's fine. Whatever it takes.
Again, I made it clear in my discussion with the amendment of the agenda. So again, I will be voting no for this until I have a chance to speak with people and talk with the people that came and spoke with me in this meeting. So anybody have any other discussion? Well, we have a motion. Been properly second. Any other discussion?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I do have a point for discussion.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why I'm going to be supportive of the moratorium, and it's not because I'm pro mine or against the mines. But the timeline of events is what I'm uncomfortable with, and I'll explain this. Before I was even in office on 11/4/24, there was a version of the land use code that I have here, which is a red line version that commissioners were considering changing part of the land use codes. To my knowledge, although I wasn't in office at the time, mining was never discussed. And it was never, if you look on page 64, bottom of 65, where I have highlighted here, it is not in the red line. Other pages have, there you go, red line. Okay, so it was not something that was being considered changing in 11/4/24. Then fast forward, there's another public hearing that was held on 11/5/24, and in the agenda packet, you have the 5,000-foot rule is there. You fast forward to 11/19. They're in a regular meeting. There's a discussion on the land use codes in which we discussed gated subdivisions were discussed. Again, no discussion on changing any of the rules surrounding mining. You go 12/3, again, no discussion. 12/17, no discussion. You get to 1/7/25, and me and Commissioner Little are in office now. We have a land use, the land use committee turns this over to Mr. Tobar. We have a work session. Again, it's never in the red lines, and we never discuss it as a board. We never, not to my knowledge, it's not in any of the minutes that I've been able to look at. And then we come to 1/30/25, and suddenly the 5,000-foot setback is changed to 1,500. Again, with no red lines. Please, just let me finish. And so you think, well, maybe this is some clerical error. Just somebody hit the wrong key or something. But if you read section Q, there's substantive material changes to Q. it's not just the 5,000 to 1,500. And I have a copy of it here. And I guess what I'm getting at here is that you have this 64-page document here. This is printed on both sides, by the way. And in my mind, this was changed without any commissioner input, without any public input. And a reasonable person would conclude that this was, again, a reasonable person would conclude that this is could be some sort of willful deception. And so my point is this: it's not about whether or not we're gonna have, we're gonna ban mines forever, or anything like that. What I do think this board should do is take some time through this moratorium to flush this out with the public, which should have been done during this whole discussion we were talking about land use codes. So I know a lot's been talked about here tonight, Mr. Chairman. That's my main objection to this. It's that, we were hoodwinked, one sentence changed without discussion in a document, and that frustrates me. And I'm gonna support this moratorium because of it.
Well, one thing I like
We
what
can
you
fix
did
it.
say, we was hoodwinked, because I remember when we went from 5,000, I think it was voted on unanimously around that board. I can't remember who was around that board, so, will y'all please, let me finish and let us have a discussion around the board with the commissioners. And if you need to talk with us after the meeting, I have no problem speaking with you and having a conversation with you, but let us do the job that y'all say y'all elected us to do and speak around this board. Due to your speech and what you said with the hoodwink, I'm willing to change my, vote and extend the moratorium.
Thank you.
And I agree with you. We gave some information that, at the time, we thought it was something righteous that we were doing as a community. What is the motion? The motion was to extend the moratorium.
Approve.
Adopt the resolution, so.
To extend it.
To extend the resolution, to adopt the resolution.
Adopt this resolution, which
So-
extends the moratorium.
So my vote would be,
Can I just say one more thing before we
Yes,
call
sir.
the question here?
yes, sir.
So,
Start while you're ahead.
no, I'm not trying to win any
No,
sort of
no.
moment. This is something that I feel like is important to us. So, this will give us an opportunity to make some reasonable, protections for our citizens, as this community moves forward. And Mr. Chairman, the ultimate solution here, as, the attorney suggested from the get-go, there is no planning and zoning in Baldwin County. And we, that is something that we have to work on to protect these people.
Hey, I'd have made it clear to my constituents and to, the people that I represent, I have no problem with, zoning. If we weren't dealing with a lot of things we're dealing with now, I would be pushing for zoning, and this is something when we get through what we're going through, whoever sit in the chair next year or whoever here, I would try to get it did before I leave. If not, I would support anybody that sit in the chair to get zoning done. But I was always been an advocate and pushing for zoning. And I get what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying, and, due to that reason, I will be in support of doing this. And I would have voted, next Tuesday for the moratorium. I just want to have an opportunity to fact check a lot of things that being said and have an opportunity to speak with the people. So with that being said, we have a vote. Anyone else have any discussion around this board? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. If no other commissioner have anything to say around the board, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Y'all sure y'all don't want to stay a little longer?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
They own 27 parcels in Baldwin County, Chair. What are we gonna do? 27 parcels. out of my county. Thank you.
I don't know if you'll have an opportunity to speak again, but I just wanted to put a little plug in here. You know, we already have sand mines
Oh, yeah.
right down the street from us.
Right.
And we also, they're about to put in a whole solar farm right off of,
Somebody said something
off
about
of
solar
JF
farm.
Hall Road and CC Cliff. And we're also getting, and those sand trucks, they're not supposed to be coming down our road.
But they do.
Yes.